This week on the Steam Machine podcast, Dante's not even supposed to be here today. He's supposed to be at his peak, where there's an inferno. Cue the music. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always is one half of the Destructible Bros.
How's it going, Dalton? I'm Willie, and I'm here joined with a special guest. Mikhailov's taking this one off, but we have our guest host just as always, and today our special friend is...
It's me, Mr. Puzzles.
Yeah,
I'm here to talk about wieners and have everyone off tangents.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Hell yes, sir. Welcome back. This is normally where I ask you boys what you've been up to, but I'm going to go first this week because I haven't had to do this in a long time, but I have some grievances that I need to air. Okay? So, first and foremost, if you squat your truck, and by that I mean if you sink the back of it so it looks like this, and to you, look, both of you, you can see what I'm talking about. There's something fundamentally wrong with your brain, and I think you should get it checked out, because what the fuck is the point of that? Like, your truck is now at an angle where if you put anything in the bed of your truck, it's going to roll out. Okay, so obviously you're not using a pickup truck for what you should be using a pickup truck for. 2, it aims your headlights directly into my back fucking window, into my mirror. So, like, at that point, go fuck yourself for that as well. And 3, the reason that people used to drop the front of hot rods is because they had huge fucking tires on the back of them. So you telling me that you're going to squat your truck and then just put some smaller tires on the back because you think that looks cool? Get the fuck out of here. I don't know if that's just a Florida thing. I don't know if y'all deal with that in North Carolina or in old Kentucky, but dude, it is prevalent around here, and I just do not understand it.
Maybe it's a poor man's dump truck thing, and they're trying to get everything angled to better, like, dump whatever load of bullshit that they're planning on putting back there.
Here's the thing, though. Most of these trucks that I see are all pristine trucks that I don't think they would put dump truck-worthy things in. Like, they don't look like they're pickup trucks that are used as pickup trucks. They just look like some country boy had some money, got him a nice truck, and squatted it because he's like, oh, the girls will sure love this. Get the fuck out of here. You just little dick. Fucking A. Okay, so that's grievance number 1. Grievance number 2. I'm on the way to work today. And it is a long straight shot with a couple curves, right? Well, I'm on this particular just straightaway, and there's a dirt road up ahead on the left, and I see a truck parked. You know how like people park at the end of a road, like waiting for their kid to get off school? So you'll just see someone hanging at the end of the road. So there was a truck there, and then there was this silver like Jeep car at the stop sign waiting to come out. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, they're going to wait till I come by because I'm coming at 65 miles an hour, and I'm not that far away from you, right? No, they pull out, so I have to slam on my brakes. But not only do they pull out, they do not speed up. They come to a stop. So I then have to hit my brakes harder, so I'm scared up behind them, which luckily I have new tires. And they turned on their turn signal and turned back on the road they just came from. And I am not a road rage person. But I leaned out my window with a middle finger throwing all kinds of obscenities their way, dude. I was like, what the So the lady that was parked there, I think waiting for her kid, just like had her hand on her forehead like this. Like she was just like, oh my God. Like she thought she was about to see a crash. She probably thinks I'm a psychopath. The only saving grace that I could give that situation that made me just not want to just destroy humanity was, I'm like, maybe it was a kid learning how to drive on their road, and they made a stupid decision in turning around. And I'm just going to stick with that because then I'm not going to be as mad about it.
So, for situations like this, I keep a box of dollar store hammers in the passenger seat of my car. Super cheap, really easy to keep stocked, and you just kind of like gently lob one at their windshield as you go by. It really makes people kind of reevaluate their life decisions, I find.
I learned that move from Super Mario Bros. 1 from 1985. Most people don't like having hammers thrown at them.
I learned it from an episode of Neurotically Yours.
Man, that is... wow, that is a throwback.
Holy shit.
Man, I thought I was talking 90s earlier, but man, that is early internet shit. That is Newgrounds Flesh.
I was about to say, is that the squirrel? Was it smoke?
That is
Yeah,
Foamy the squirrel.
Holy fuck, I haven't thought about that in a long time.
I still remember the name of the episode in question. It's called Hammers and Floodlights.
Well, that's wild, man. I learned it from Ace Ventura when he goes into that concert and Cannibal Corpses and they're playing Hammer Smash Face.
Now you got me in this old Flash cartoon mood, and I'm gonna go watch Gonans and Strife or something.
I immediately though, like I was
55.
listening to my goth playlist, and I was immediately enraged. So I just put on my metal playlist and found Behemoth, and just put on, because Behemoth is like the heavy of heavy. You know what I mean? I just cranked that shit all the way up and just listened to Left Hand of God on the way, and it was just, I felt better once I got to work. And then I got to work and okay, so I love my job and I love everyone that I work with, right? But we got a new AGM who is trying to make life real hard. Okay, let me describe this person to you. Do you know the memes that you will see that people of a certain political viewing will post to say that all people on the left look like this, right? Picture that. Now, squat them to 4 foot tall and blimp them out a little bit, and then give them like a little wavy, weird green haircut. Okay, and that's Gabby. That's my.
All right. I was picturing blue, but
No, yeah, this is green, right? Now we're talking full on Oompa Loompa. Makes me want to ask her how Willy Wonka actually is in real life. Now, but before her, we had a dude named Kevin. I only met Kevin once, and that was when he brought in that big ballin' fucking Space Coast District Award thing that we had for the month. That was the title belt thing on a chain, right? Like,
Yeah.
that thing was super cool.
Hey.
And Kevin was super cool when I met him. He's like, yo, what's up, man? And he's like, sadly, this will be probably the only time I get to see you, because he was leaving and then going to a different district, and we got this new one. So, when I first got hired, they said we're allowed to wear the shirts that we are given, and then any of our affiliates. So like right now, I am wearing an Alien Labs shirt, right? So this new lady,
It's a pretty sweet shirt. The logo's got this like graffiti aesthetic. It looks cool.
yeah, and they designed this one to look like those old little aliens that everyone did in the 90s.
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah, the ones that
Yeah.
you saw everywhere. So that's what this particular shirt. I've got one that you guys have seen. It looks like the death metal cover.
Yes.
Where it's like Baphomet, but the head is an alien head. It's super cool. I got a bunch of them, and apparently this new lady is wanting to change it to where we cannot wear any shirts that we've bought from the websites of our affiliates. She wants to make it where the girls are no longer allowed to wear, well, actually none of us are allowed to wear sweatpants, leggings, or joggers. So Matt, that I work with, who is literally known by all of our customers for always wearing wacky pants, she now wants to make him wear normal pants all the time. She's wanting to basically take the entire vibe that we've got going in that store and corporate it the fuck up. And she also apparently, so Kevin used to be in our chats and things like that, to help out, if something goes wrong. She said she doesn't want to be in any of our group chats. She doesn't want to be in any of the store's group chats. She has no time for that. Yada, yada, yada. All this.
She doesn't have time to do any actual management, right?
Yes, she doesn't have time to do work.
She has time to make degrees.
And I overheard, because I was working when her and Katie, my manager, were having this discussion in the office, and like I was, when you're not supposed to be listening to something, but you can't help yourself but like put an ear there, and you're just kind of like, okay, let me see what's going on in there. They were having the discussion about the dress code, and Katie said, we've done a really good job at cultivating a vibe here and a culture where we're all accepted of each other. We, as long as we aren't have holy clothes and stuff like that, we wear affiliate clothing and comfortable pants because we're moving around all day. Our customers all love the vibe and atmosphere we have in here. And I heard this woman say, well, you have to understand that I wasn't here 3 years ago, or that wouldn't have happened in the first place. And I just wanted to go in there and pee on her. Like, I just wanted to do something. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, kick her into the chocolate river and let her float away.
So I don't think someone with green hair has a leg to stand on for professional attire.
Yeah.
But
That's also a little fucky, isn't it? Be like, come back into this drop when you have a natural looking hair. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, I told them, I said, if she corporatizes it where we have to wear, like all of us have to like wear the same shirts or anything like that, I said, I will have ridiculously colored hair. I just want you to know that. It's like, I will rebel in any way that I can against the corporation.
And I mean, I do think
I would definitely the most
unnatural hair colors.
Compliance.
I do think unnatural hair colors are cool as hell. I am basically saying you got to use her own shit against her. Not that I'm saying that,
Oh, no, I get what you're saying.
I mean.
Like, it's kind of like a pot killing a kettle black.
As he says, malicious compliance. It's a great phrase.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, lady, we were the top earning store in our district last month. And then they switched our districts, and now we have to deal with you. If we were the top earners, that means we were doing something fucking right, which means you probably shouldn't come in and fuck with it. Which is exactly what my dad said, almost verbatim. He was like, if y'all were the top earning store, then why is she fucking with y'all? And I'm like, I don't know. And it's like, of all the stores to come in and try to corporatize, you want to corporatize the weed store? We're already considered like a pharmacy. That's weird enough.
It makes no fucking sense.
And that's because of all the legalities, because it's medical and not recreational. And it's like, there's so much bullshit with that. And it's just baffling to me. And I needed to vent about it because it's like, this job's been great. And I really would hate for this lady to come in and fucking ruin it.
Now, you vent on that, man. You put your thumb on the carb hole and give it a few flicks.
Yeah. Because I told my mom the other day, I said, if she comes in and tries to turn this where it's like, I'm going to feel like a suit, I said, then I'm going to go try to get that job at the bank that they offered me. I was like, because if I'm going to be a suit, I'm going to get fucking paid for being a suit.
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah. Anyways, grievance is done. I'll talk about what I've been playing to get back into the swing of things, and then I'll ask you boys what you've been doing. Thank you, listeners, and thank you, boys, for letting me air that out. So I have been messing around.
It's a pleasure as always.
Of course, I played some Devil May Cry. I was playing some Wrestling Empire. Been dabbling in some Clair Obscur, getting deeper into that. Very, very intrigued by that game. Can't wait to talk about it. But yesterday, I'm sitting here. It's about 7 p.m., 8 p.m., something like that. And I'm looking on my Steam, and I'm like, what do I want to play? And I had pre-ordered WWE 2K26, and early access was going to start on March 6th. So I was really looking forward to today. And then I see over there, instead of coming soon, it now says new to library. And I'm like, what? And I clicked on it, and it said early access starting now. And I'm like, what? So I immediately installed that shit, and I played it for 7.6 hours.
That sounds about right.
And so I tried a few things. GM mode, fantastic. When you do GM mode, it puts the guys that you drafted, your first 8 that you can see. And I'm going to bore Jeff here for just a split second. Apologies, buddy. But so I drafted. Oh my God, Dane's here. Yes. So you'll both know who all these people are. This is wonderful. All right. So Blade and Kaz Taylor. Those are 2 of my created guys I always make. I drafted them. But then I also have Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Penta.
Fucking strong, dude.
Can only get so hard.
And then that's not counting the rest of the guys that I got, because I think I snagged Cody too later in the draft, and like a couple other people. So like I have a stacked roster, so I'm very happy for that. I'm gonna enjoy that GM mode. Universe mode is sweet. They added a little bit of ragdoll physics this year, which is cool. So like I chucked a dude out of the ring and he hit another dude and they both fell, which usually that didn't happen. So that was cool. There's just like little things that they've added like that. So
Sweet.
With the version I got this VC. It's virtual currency. And you can earn it by playing through the different modes, which I do have access to the island this year, which this is going to be the last thing I talk about, and then I'll get off this. But so I was used to last year's game, and I was like, okay, so the VC is used to open card packs in my faction. So I went into my faction, and I opened some card packs, got some wrestlers for that mode, all that. I probably won't really play it that much. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. Then I load into the island. Now, the island, you create your wrestler, and then it's basically like a third-person RPG where you roam around this hub area, and you get you have to choose between one of 3 factions: Cody's faction, CM Punk's faction, or Rhea Ripley's faction. Who do you think I went with?
Mommy.
Probably mommy.
You know me well. So I went with Rhea Ripley. So hers is like the spooky faction, right? And
Of course.
it's been really fucking fun, dude. Like, you just running around I made Blade in that mode too, and then you're just running around and doing my thing, and I go to level up his stats, and it uses VC, and I was like, oh damn it! So I had just spent all of my VC in the other mode that I'm not probably going to play that much, and I could have used it, but I'm like, you know what? This just means I'm starting off fresh. So if I had just bought the game straight, this is how the island would be, so I just don't get a head start. I'm cool with that. That's like not cheating, right? Like, all right, so that's fine. Played that for a while. Man, it's a lot of fun. I'm going to sink a lot of time into this game this year, and I'm very happy with it. Graphics are fucking great too, because no last gen versions anymore. Mwah, beautiful. I'll be grabbing some screenshots to share.
I will miss seeing weird glitches from the PS4 versions, though.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, I could probably still fire up. Was it 2K20? I think it was 2K20. It was one of them because they skipped a year after that. Anyway, whichever one it was, I could probably still fire that up and get you some pristine glitches because that game was a balls mess of glitch and just terribleness.
I'm trying to remember the one it was. It might have been 2K18, but the one that had like the referee whose entire head spun around as he gave the thumbs up. just a classic moment in video game glitches. Wrestling games, or really sports games in general, just glitch different because of the way they have to deal with so much collision.
Yeah, or Dynamite. Yeah.
Oh, that took me a moment. God damn it. That's a pretty good wrestling joke.
I do what I can. All right, I'm done with wrestling. Jeff, you can tune back in, and that's pretty much what I've been doing as I've been playing that. Oh, and also, I took a season character of Black Desert up to graduated this season, and then been playing some Project Gorgon. Willie, what you been up to, man?
Let's see. I think I mentioned on the last podcast that I went and got to see my brother and the family with a new child, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So what have I been doing since then? Man, the weather's turned around. I'm so used to being iced in, and today it was over 80 degrees. So that's kind of wild.
It's like an heat wave.
On the subject of Yobroski, he sent us a picture today of that sweet baby girl wearing the onesie with Steamy on it, and it just made me all kinds of happy.
Yeah.
But it's really funny that he was like, I think the sizing is wrong on that site because this said it was for 6 months, and she's a month old and she fits into it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
She is from large family, though.
Yeah.
Like, they were, both of her parents were above average sized children, so.
Yeah, well, she was a cutie, and she was rocking it well, our youngest fan, who has no idea who we are, but I will take it.
She knows who I am?
She knows who you are, but I mean like the show. She has no idea who the show is.
Oh, yeah. It's a cute robot anyway.
And I believe you may already I know you mentioned something about a controller. I just didn't want you to forget about that, or if that's later.
Oh, I'm actually going to talk about that during the game.
Okay.
Let's see. Anything fun I've been up to? I might have been boring this last couple weeks again.
Me too, man.
Seems pretty likely. Yeah. Trying to think if I have anything, and I really don't think I do.
It's all good, brother, man. We'll go to Dane then. Dane, what you been up to?
Okay, so couple things. I had my first Whataburger 2 days ago.
Oh, how was that?
Bro, welcome to the it's so good.
So they've only started opening up within driving distance of me recently. The two closest to me are both an hour away, and me and my wife been meaning to go to it for about a month now, and we finally both remembered it at the same time when we were in Winston, which is one of the two that's closest. So we went there and got a double, got the grilled onions, got the grilled jalapenos, the creamy pepper sauce on there.
Oh yeah, you got the good one. Yeah, that's a
strawberry malt.
Oh yeah.
So right off the heels of that, Jeff, the son of a bitch, posts a let's settle this picture on our Discord. What's the best burger? And I'm like, son of a bitch, because up until this point, it was always Five Guys, hands down, no contests, never a second thought. And I had to actually weigh Five Guys against this burger. And Five Guys only barely edged it out. And I really think it's the mountain of fries, because Whataburger's fries, little underwhelming. I'm not going to lie. I need to try their onion rings next time I'm there. Maybe it'll change my mind. But damn, that was a good burger.
When I worked for Coca-Cola, dude, that was a mainstay of, I would go to Whataburger, get the double with no tomato, no onion, just to keep it easier to eat while I was driving, and no cheese, because I felt like when I would eat it with, this is going to sound strange, but when I would get cheese on the burger, by the time I was done with the burger, I felt too full. But if I got it without cheese, I didn't feel that way. And I'm not sure why cheese made the difference. I mean, I know I'm lactose intolerant, but like that usually doesn't do it like that. But anyway, their burgers are always fresh, dude. When they're fries or when they're hot, dude, you dip it in the spicy. It's called spicy. It's really just jalapeno ketchup. It's delicious, man. Absolutely delicious.
I could do a little fast food talk myself. Did try a couple of things I hadn't before. We've had Zaxby's for forever, but I've only ever really gotten wings from there before. But yesterday I decided to try some of their white meat stuff. So I downloaded the app, and the first time you use the app, you get at least when I did, there was like 5 free chicken fingers with any order of a certain size. So I went and got one of the spicy chicken sandwiches, and then got the fingers with the nuclear, which is their hottest sauce, and brought it home. And I gotta say, I see why Nate gets the the chicken tenders and the salads and the sandwiches now, because I did not expect that white meat to be that juicy and tasty, and even the sauce felt like it coated it more evenly and well than it does the wings.
I have actually never had wings from Zaxby's. I always get their chicken strips or their chicken tendies. Mm-hmm. Dude, they're so good. They really are. They're always so juicy and delicious.
And I got the sauced ones, and I was just so amazed about like the sauce coverage is real damn good.
I didn't know you could sauce them. That's a whole new world opened up to me now.
Yeah, you can get the finger sauced. It's pretty good.
I've always dipped them. I've never actually ordered them sauced. But yeah, they do have some killer tendies. It's just our Zaxby's are the people that work there are fucking useless.
I imagine it's a very franchise by franchise type of deal.
I almost got banned. Not the last time we went there, but the time before. We were sitting in the drive-thru, and they were taking one order at a time, letting them to the window, giving them their food, then letting them before they would take the next order. And I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to be helpful. I'm like, hey, y'all kind of got a pretty big line forming up over here. And they actually had the nerve to say to me, "Sir, we only have one computer."
See, like when people were mad understaffed during COVID, I understand that being an issue, but one computer.
2023.
Yeah. Like when I think of that tactic, I do remember like Popeyes using it during COVID, but again, that's because they deliberately wanted to keep the line long to discourage people from overwhelming the like 2 people they had on staff,
I said,
but the computer don't do the frying.
Press enter, and you put in the next order. And then the girl got really silent, and then another guy who is speaking with the voice of "I'm in charge," but it's also the voice that is cracking with teenage testosterone that's still coming through and hasn't done its job yet.
Was that the dude from Simpsons? No, listen here, I'm in charge.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And he's like, "Sir, we only have the one computer." I'm like, "Yeah, but I know those computers take more than one order at a time. Hey, if you want a huge line and you want to be really busy for the next couple hours, go ahead. That's your prerogative. But I would kind of like to get out of here in the next half hour." And then they wait until they finish that order, just ignoring me. And then after that one goes through, they're like, "Sir, we have decided that we are going to enact our right to refuse service, and we are not going to serve you." I won't share the words that I said to him. I won't share the thing that I threw into his drive-through window, but I do keep a box of hammers in the car.
Why do we have a running hammer thing on this episode? This is a new thing.
It's hammer time.
It is not a new thing in my life.
Oh,
I throw hammers at a lot of people.
When all you have is a box of hammers, everyone else looks like a box of nails, I suppose.
Nailed them. So, but I've only been back there once since, and that was on one of the rare occasions I was dashing here in town, and I was picking up a catering order for a local medical facility. But yeah, they pissed me off that day, and that was the last time I've set foot in that one.
Yeah.
It's wild to me how like those types of restaurants are so dependent on who's working in it if they care about their job, right? Like the Burger King in Middleburg, fire. You go in there, your burgers are always fresh, your fries are always hot. It's delicious. The Burger King in Palatka, where I work, I haven't been there in a while, but I remember it was pretty good. Like it wasn't the best Burger King I've been to, but it was serviceable, right? Then there was this time me and my mom went into this Burger King. It was in Gainesville, and we, how do I say this? The side of town we were on we were in the hood. Let me just put it that way. We were just fucking. We were in the hood, and we went into this Burger King, and me and my mom went in there, and there was a couple in front of us that ordered, and they were talking with the girl, and everybody was having a great time, and then they went on and did their thing, and me and mom went up, and the girl kind of like glanced up at us, and then turned around and went and started working on something else. So we stood there, and we stood there, and we stood there. And then we left, and not one person ever like came up to take our order, turned around to greet us or anything. And it was the first time ever that I just straight up just like, all right, well, fuck me then, like out loud, and then just walk. Like I never say anything, like. But I was just like baffled. I'm like, not one mom, not even like we'll be with you in a minute, just nothing. I was like, all right, so we.
Not a hey, not a hold on, not a fuck yourself.
Yeah, not even a go fuck yourself. Like that'd have been fine. Like, no, we're not gonna serve you. I'll get out the fuck out of here. I'd have been like, what? Okay, but at least there'd have been a reason, or at least like a reason to leave. Like it's just nothing. So I don't remember. We ended up going somewhere else that day. Like I think it was like Wendy's or something like that, and ate that. But it's just wild that like it's just vastly different in these different areas, but it's the same fucking place. I don't know. People should care more about their jobs, but also those places should pay them more to care more. So.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Also, I tried the hot honey snack wrap at McDonald's, and it's pretty good. I actually think that the hot honey goes pretty well with their chicken, which is maybe not the greatest chicken. I can see that they're really trying to push their weird McTenders or whatever in places that they probably shouldn't be, but the snack wrap is okay, and I think that the hot honey was really no worse and no better than the spicy. Maybe a little bit better.
Man, I got a chicken sandwich from McDonald's because there's a McDonald's right across the street from my work, so I eat there a lot, unfortunately. And
that's life.
I got a chicken sandwich from there the other day, and I got 2 bites into it, and the third bite made me gag, and I threw it away. So, have you ever had chicken that when you bite into it, good chicken, your teeth just cut right through it? Like,
I think I know where you're going with this. There's a certain texture that's like tumorish.
Yes, and it was like the whole thing was like chewy, like tough,
woody tasting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like,
that moment where you're like, are they 3D printing meat?
yeah, it made me be like, this. I don't like this, and I just was thinking about it too much. And when I took that third bite, and my teeth, I felt like a little as I bit through it. I gagged and was like, oh, well, and I just threw it away and ate my fries. And my fries were cold. And I was very, very disappointed in the whole experience. Because usually that place is fresh, like burned my fingers hot on the fries and the burgers. So I don't know what was going on there that day.
McDonald's fries, too, are one of the things that is like, yes, when they're fresh out the oven, fresh out the fryer, I mean, they're good. But they suffer so much from even just like the drive home.
Yeah, you got to eat your fries on the ride.
Yeah. I would rather have fries that are like less than 3 minutes old than have ketchup on the fries.
Yes.
I've actually heard that there are monsters out there who won't eat their McDonald's fries until they're cold.
Wow. Those people. I have some questions about them.
That's cool, man. There are people that paid money for Limp Bizkit albums. Like, it takes all kinds.
But the main host on Fact Fiend, I don't know if y'all have ever watched that YouTube channel. He's one of them. He will buy McDonald's, go home, and let it sit on the counter for an hour. Sometimes even put it in the fridge before he eats it. I don't know who hurt him.
I just don't like it. I don't like it.
That bothers me deeply.
It bothers me genetically, and I can't explain why. Like, I feel like somewhere deep down, like, there's something about the human experience that rejects this, and it makes me wonder what alien planet you came from. And
I don't know if I've ever had any potato dish. Well, no, I've had some mashed potatoes that were okay cold, but like fried potatoes, like cold, I can't think of any fried potato dish that's better cold.
Not better cold, but I've had some potato tots that weren't worse when they cooled off because they were not high ceiling in the first place. Like, as long as they maintain their crunch, they're okay.
That's the thing, yeah. It's when they lose the crunch and they kind of just get sog, and then the potatoes, like, dry your mouth out, because it's, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Well, I mean, potato chips don't have to be hot.
Okay, that's actually really valid. Potato chips are thoroughly fried.
Yeah, they're their own thing. You know damn well they don't count, Dane.
I think it was a good point, actually.
Point of order, potato product. All right, Pringles, that's not legally a potato chip.
Potato-adjacent chip-esque product, Crisp.
They're tasty.
They're like 49% cornstarch.
Yeah, man. Well, that 51% potato chunks that were left over from the Lay's are pretty fucking good.
Hey, you get up to 51% corn and you can start being bourbon whiskey, so come on.
Oh, Pringles just slightly changes their formula, starts coming out with booze. That'd be fantastic.
But it's still in the tennis ball tube.
It's just called Old Pringle. Oldo Pringle.
And there's just a straw port in the top of it because you just, at that point, you know where you're at in life. Like,
Finally, a Pringles product that I don't have to get my daughter to grab the stuff at the bottom of the can for me anymore.
Oh, man.
Any straw you stick in that becomes a silly straw.
Oh.
What was the fucking Mitch Hedberg where he's like,
Yes.
the silly straw joke when he's like, he sees a straight straw, he's like, man, that straw is serious.
Oh, I thought you were going to do because we talked about Pringles, I thought you were going to be like, Pringles was trying to make tennis balls, but when the day came that the delivery was supposed to arrive, they got potatoes, and they're like, fuck it, cut them up.
Fuck it, cut them up.
Pringles is a laid-back company.
And then you got the Bo Burnham bit, the Kanye rant. Hands too big to fit inside of a Pringles can. If you feel me, put your hands up. If you feel me, put your hands up. Look at all these people whose hands are too big to fit inside a Pringle can.
It is an interesting, like, I know it like differentiates them, and that's what makes Pringles. Pringles, if they started coming out in bags, people would be like, what the fuck? But they could widen it a little. I mean, I guess they'd have to make their chips bigger, and they're not going to do that because that'd cut into profit. But half the fucking cans already
The fucked up thing
crumbles.
is when Lay's stacks came out, their cans were wider, but they still had the tiny ass hole at the top.
Yeah. But Lay's Stacks cans are really weird.
It's like you were close enough to feel the heat, and you tripped on just at the 20-yard line. You were almost there.
And it's fucked up too because it's Lay's. You're the brand name in potato chips, and yet you came off as the generic here.
Yeah, especially. Yeah, Lay's is like one of those things where it's like, let me get a Coke. And in certain parts of the country, you could hand them whatever soda you want, and they will be happy with it. Because any soda is a Coke. Where it's like, let me get some of them Lay's chips. And you could hand him Oots, and he wouldn't know the fucking difference. You know, he's just looking for some potato chips. Band-Aid, Kleenex, all those.
The word is generonym.
Is that really what it's called? Generonym?
Yes. You can look it up. Words like Kleenex, Band-Aid, Xerox. Yeah. Hoover in the UK. They call any vacuum cleaner a Hoover.
Got a new Hoover. I hear that on Cultaholic every now and then.
They say they'll Hoover something up instead of vacuum it.
Just makes me think of this, and then we can get into the game talk. But I saw this little video the other day where it was there's this Aussie that I follow on Facebook, and the Aussie's always holding a little toy sword. And the girl comes walking up to it because it's standing there looking at something with the sword in its mouth, and she's like, "What's got you ready for battle?" And then she looks, and it's her husband with the vacuum, and she goes, "Ah, Dark Lord Vacuum." And that just made me laugh so hard. So I'm going to start saying that to Lily. It's like, oh, Dark Lord Vacuum. Beware.
The power of vacuum.
Vacuum. Megamaid's gone from suck to blow.
Fuck, even in the future, nothing works.
Oh, man.
I'm just thinking about the Succomatic from Rocco's Modern Life with the neutering function.
Also very good, yeah.
God. Fucking
Dog minus tennis balls. 5-year-old
that's
Dane.
right.
I don't get this.
Then you're older and you're thinking about old Rocco's and you're like, oh, I remember why Heifer felt that way about the milking machine now.
Because I saw the movie far too young. You want to know a joke that I didn't get the first time I saw that has to do with vacuums? Scary Movie. When Dewey comes walking out of the room with the vacuum, and he goes, and he's got his fucking cock hanging like it's been stretched by a vacuum, and he's like, "Turn at the bottom here, I'm cleaning my room." And I'm like, nowadays I'm like, oh, gross. But as a kid, I was just like,
Oh,
that's weird.
I was old enough to know exactly what was going on with that one. Not from experience. I always put my balls in the vacuum cleaner, but you know. See, listeners, I told you I would bring lots of penis talk and tangents.
It's true. He did. He's delivering.
I'm like the milkman. I always deliver.
Well, boys.
He's like the milkman. He's fucking my wife.
No, just mine.
Got bad news for you, sunshine.
It's like I sent Willie this picture where someone asked Zach Wilde about opening for himself on this next tour.
Yeah.
Because he's playing Zach Sabbath, which is his Aussie tribute, and then closing out his Black Label Society. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm opening up for that Black Label band, and I think I'm gonna fuck his wife while we're on tour." He's just talking about, and it was just hilarious to me.
It reminded me of a similar running joke where people are accusing the lead actor from Iron Lung of having sex with the wives of both the writer and director of the movie.
Son of a bitch.
All of which are, of course, Markiplier, yeah.
Who?
I still need to watch that one.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah,
movie.
me too. Just because I'm a big fan of David Zemansky, so, like, I've got to see this movie. I'm sad I missed the theatrical run, but, like, it's going to be a good stream. I'm guaranteeing it.
I think it was David Zemansky's tweet that I saw where it was saying that Iron Lung was going to make $50 million. I think he retweeted it and just said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. It was just, what the fuck? without punctuation.
Yeah, nothing. Just all lowercase. What the fuck?
At this point, hasn't it made more than that shitty live-action Snow White movie?
I would not be surprised.
I think it has.
I kind of forgot that existed.
I think Disney's hoping for that.
Anytime something like that comes out and bombs for Disney, I feel like they open up the vault and re-release a classic, and everyone just is like super happy about that, and everyone just forgets about the shitty one.
They're going to make Cruella 2, and it's going to fall in so bad they have to release Song of the South.
Oh my God, Willie, you stole my fucking joke. I love you. Oh my God. I was literally going to say, I mean, at this point, they're going to do Song of the South just so people talk about that. Fucking hey.
Oh, stupid ass minds. They say great minds think alike, but so do ours.
Isn't that...
I'm still upset that my daughter on her Disney account can't watch Jungle Book, like the original Jungle Book.
Oh, really?
Because it's set to child. Because it has negative stereotypes over King Louis. They've age restricted over KingLouis.
I can see why, but man, I feel like this is the case where you want to do the disclaimer thing. I was
gonna say, why don't they handle it like MeTV Toons does, where when something comes on, it's like, this cartoon is a product of its time and does not reflect current view, all that kind of stuff. And that would be an easy way, because then your kid could be like, what does that mean? And then you guys can have a productive conversation where you talk about how like media has changed over the years. But I guess a lot of parents don't want to have that conversation or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, you're assuming parents want to do parroting.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Song of the South, that's where Zippity Doo-Dah came from, right?
It is. They actually only recently rebranded Splash Mountain, like in the last 3 years, to where it no longer is based on that song.
That's wild. Yeah,
I think they went with Princess and the Frog is the new theme, which makes sense to me. Like, if you're gonna, go completely a different direction, that is definitely a good way to go. But it is weird that it stayed there that long when it was kind of like the unspeakable Disney movie,
Right. But at the same time, I understand when Disney does updates and stuff, because at a certain point, kids, like when they changed that, kids probably would remember Princess and the Frog more than they would even know what Song of the South is now. Does that make sense? So like, I understand why they update things. It's like, I think 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is now something else. I think they made it Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that.
They already had a Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It was called Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
yeah, the movie was based on the ride.
It might have been that they made 20,000 Leagues to Finding Nemo or something. I don't know. It was something along those lines where they changed it to another movie to update it. But yeah. Anyway, speaking of Disney, we played a really violent game with demons and devils and killing people.
Just like Maleficent.
Dude, you're segueing the way I segue.
We played a game. It won the short poll, and that is one Devil May Cry. And we brought in Dane because he is our resident DMC fan / expert. And here is...
Everyone voted for this game, so I would not post pictures of my balls on the Discord.
This is true. He's not lying, everyone. He really did.
Dane runs very efficient poll campaigns, I've noticed.
He does. Dane threatens nudity. Dane gets the game he wants to play.
But in this case, DMC stands for Dane May Co-host.
Nice.
Love it. So Devil May Cry, the obligatory Wikipedia bullshit, is a 2001 action-adventure video game Developed and published by Capcom.
Oh boy, howdy, is it ever 2001?
Yeah, for sure. Developed for the PlayStation 2, set on a remote island, the story centers on Dante, a demon hunter who uses his business to carry out a lifelong vendetta against all demons. He meets a woman named Trish, who takes him on a journey to defeat the demon lord Mundus, who is responsible for the deaths of Dante's brother and mother. And just a quick tidbit, Devil May Cry was conceived by Capcom developers as a possible concept for Resident Evil 4. So that explains the camera, if you've ever played this game before, because this game is hella early Resident Evil camera coded for sure.
Yeah.
Now, let's do first thoughts, and let's start with Dane, because when did you first play this, and what made you love it so much, my good man?
Okay, there's a slightly lengthy story to this. You sure you want it?
Absolutely. Fill that time slot, baby.
So,
If we didn't like things that were slightly lengthy, we wouldn't have Dalton on.
I don't know what the fuck you got me around for.
It's to make our hair look better.
All right, that's fair. I am bald. All the hair migrated straight to my ass crack. Anyway, so I'm sure I brought him up here on this podcast, and if you listen to Media Dump, I know you've heard me talk about this particular man from Dane lore. But my friend Big Dick Brandon was the first in our friend group to get a PlayStation 2.
Nice.
About 6 months ahead of me. And one weekend, spent the night over at his house, and he had went to our local video place and rented Devil May Cry. Now, this is the first time I actually got to go over to his house and sit down and see the PS2 in action. And the majesty of just the opening menu. And I know you hear those noises, the boom, and the little twinkle sounds, and you see these weird, the crystal clock that kind of moved in time, and it wasn't obvious. All this magic, and I'm like, oh, I've got to get my hand on this shit. And then he loads up Devil May Cry, and, you know, I'm still playing shit like Crash Bandicoot, the original Metal Gear Solid, and then I get to see this game, which, yeah, 25 years later, you look at this game, it showed its age, but this game was fucking amazing. I'd never seen anything like it. We played that weekend. He went through the game start to finish, and I was just happy riding shotgun. And after he finished this game, I made a deal with him, like, let me borrow your PS2 for one day. I will pay your late fees.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he sends me home because he was, you know, we were tight. He trusted me with it. He loaned me his PS2. I went home that Saturday, took his rental with me, and I played through Devil May Cry start to finish in one day. I made mistakes. Now, I was playing his save file because convenience. So I did start the game with a leg up. I had moves. I had the in-game weapons. But I also played on hard mode,
So you were also in hard
which
mode.
kind of sent me down this kind of sent me down a path. If you remember when we played Metal Gear Rising, I just started on hard mode because that's how I do these games now. But, and we'll get into this mechanics later, I also played through the entire game using just the Sparta, so I never had Devil Trigger.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting challenge. Man, I got to know how you handled some of those bosses then.
I got there. But yeah, that was my first experience. And after doing that, returning his game, getting funny looks at the video store because they're like, "You're not Big Dick Brandon." I'm like, "Oh, you didn't notice?"
I'm a representative.
But paid his late fees, took his system back, and I told my mom, "Look, I know that eventually you will get me a PS2. I want that game. I wanted that." And when that Christmas, because we still celebrated Christmas back then, she bought us a PS2, and our first 3 games was an Armored Core game, Silent Hill 2, and Devil May Cry.
Holy shit. Nice lineup.
Oh, yeah.
So I have strong love for this series ever since.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Willie, what about you, man? When you fired this up all these years later, no, we played the HD collection too, so that was remastered a bit visually.
I don't think it was very remastered. It felt more like an upscale than anything else, honestly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would say I do have some prior experience, which is that this was a one-time rental for me as a kid. And I remember getting up about as far as beating the spider boss. the first time you fight it. The spider scorpion thing, the Phantom. I believe is what it's called. Yeah. So I had a lot of memories of it. So when I was playing this game, one of my first impressions was just like, oh, Trish stabbed him with a sword. Now he's going to pull himself through it. No, that happens in level 2. He gets stabbed a lot. But I would say my first impression when you actually get to the castle was just, holy shit, this is a Capcom game from 2001 because these stupid-ass camera angles are exactly Resident Evil coded.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely took some getting used to. It was making me nauseous the first time I played it. And I think it took me some just sitting down with it and playing some to get my eyes used to the way that it was doing it. And then I was fine after that.
I also noticed that it felt really unresponsive to me in a lot of ways, but we'll get around to why that was later on.
So I fired this up, and my real Devil May Cry experience, I believe, is with Devil May Cry 2 in my memories, because I didn't have any...
Two? There's a 2?
Yeah, I believe it's the one that you and lots of other people like to pretend doesn't exist.
I mean, I count 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not sure.
Well,
between that and Capcom and Valve not being able to count to 3, we have a really good ass number base going on in this bitch.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you said that you played this on the PlayStation. What's it called?
Sequel. The PlayStation sequel.
It was called the PS Double.
The PSS.
But yeah, so
the postscript.
I didn't remember Devil May Cry 2's camera being quite as Resident Evil coded as this one was. But yeah, I loaded into this, man, and immediately I was just like, this game's just stylish. Like that's just a word for it, you know what I mean? It's like it comes on with a... Now, what's
the cameras are both cinematic as hell and also really inconvenient for a lot of the combat early on.
Yeah. What's the name of his business? Isn't it Devil...
It starts off as Devil May Cry.
Okay, so I wasn't crazy that it was different at the end then.
Yeah, they changed the name of the business to reference his line about devils never crying, and then the shop is never called Devils Never Cry again after the end of that. It immediately goes right back to Devil May Cry.
Okay, well, so yeah, I loved that scene where it just like pulls up and he answers the phone like Devil May Cry. And he's just like this, seems like a normal business dude. And then this lady just comes bursting through the wall on a motorcycle or whatever the fuck it was. It was awesome. Just a crazy opening. And I was just like, all right. It definitely set the tone for the game.
And it's like, bathrooms in the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's a totally normal occurrence for him.
I also liked the framing in the opening cutscene where he's basically body blocking obvious like topless woman poster in the background. And then when he does move his head, there's like stars over the nips.
Yeah. You don't
just a good like Austin Powers-ish joke.
Oh, dude! Speaking of Austin, I was talking about that Austin Powers scene the other day at work. I don't remember what brought it up, but I started doing that little like sway back and forth that he does in that one scene where the baby's got the little pinwheel going back and forth, and I was just like, I feel like I need a pinwheel in front of me like they did in Austin Powers. But yeah, dude. So right away, this game just kicks off and it's just going. The action in it, I really enjoy the action combat. You mentioned Devil Trigger. I would hate to admit to both of you how long it took me to figure out that I could hit L1 and it would activate Devil Trigger, because I was wondering for like levels, like how the fuck do I do that? I guess I just skipped past it telling me how to do it, which is my bad.
I think it helps to go into the menu and look at like your inputs and stuff too, because if you never figure out how to launch people in the air with your basic weapon, you're going to not have as much fun for the first good little while in the game. Because like I feel like the base combo especially is like the sword uppercut into ebony and ivory. I
don't remember ever uppercutting anybody.
Really?
I just straight hack and slashed my way through this game, dude. I would shoot them until they got close, and then I would just whack them.
If you hit an enemy up into the air, usually the command is you hold the aim button, hit back, and your sword attack button. Then you would pop them up in the air, and if you kept aiming at them and shooting them, it would count as melee attacks, so it would keep building your style meter.
Oh, that's cool. No, I had no idea.
Generally speaking, when you're using the pistols, Ebony and Ivory, you're trying to prolong your combo just so you can get close and cover distance. But yeah, that's one of the few that when you first start doing it, you get a big pop on your combo meter.
Yeah, just because every other use of your ranged weapons, at least early on, doesn't give you any, unless you're Devil Trigger. But as you said, Dane, you didn't even use Devil Trigger your first time through, so what a way to play the game.
But that was, over 2 decades ago.
Yeah. Like I said, I basically just remember impalements, motorcycle, and spiders.
I hate to also admit this to you that I mostly used Devil Trigger to get around quicker.
Only works with Alistair, though.
Yeah, which I used Alistair a lot. I really like that.
Alistair is the lightning sword, by the way. Yes. It's a cool weapon. It gives you a lot of mobility options, including it's the one that you can unlock double jump with. So, like, if you get the double jump really early on in the game, there's like a blue orb you can get that you couldn't otherwise get, which I didn't, but I could immediately see how you would get it.
The other, what was the other, the fist weapons? Was it Ifrit?
Ifrit, yeah.
Now, I immediately switched back to Alistair when I got those. After I did the little things where I had to punch something to light the fires, because this is, again, a stupid reason, but in my head, Dante no use fist, Dante swing sword. So
that is very true in the original and in the sequel, because so many, of the weapons that you get for him in this game, or if you get to unlockable characters, there's an extra sword that you only get to play as a special secret character. You can play as Sparta if you unlock them.
Oh,
who carries a katana, the Yamato, which is Virgil's signature weapon, Dante's twin brother. But every other weapon is swords except for the Ifrit in this one, and in the sequel, you only get swords for melee combat. It wasn't until 3 that Dante's kit expands to just crazy options as far as melee attacks, and just kept that way for the rest of the series.
That's interesting because, like, the moment I got Ifrit, I was thinking of, like, and now I pronounce it Ifrit because that's the way they say it in Final Fantasy games now, even though I don't even play them anymore. It's weird, but because I said Ifrit as a kid too, and that's but so when I got Ifrit, all of a sudden I started like thinking, man, I remember this guy being such a rumored like Smash Bros character, and I was just like immediately between Alistair and Ifrit imagining what his kit for melee attacks would look like in Smash, and like you can immediately see like a full combo, tilt attacks, smash attacks, everything. Like he would have made a pretty well-rounded character.
Well, this game is basically a fighting game in 3D.
Yeah, it's
the way the combos, and especially as the series goes on and they got more and more crazy, it really is just a fighting game.
Yeah, you want to like cancel your base melee combo into like a launcher and then pop them up like it's like Marvel vs. Capcom, and then maybe you do the gun. Actually, isn't Dante in Marvel vs. Capcom now that I think about it?
I think so.
I haven't played a versus game in forever.
Real quick, did either of you on the PlayStation 2 ever play a game called Barbarian?
Not me.
I think I remember seeing it, but I don't know that I ever played it.
So I'll have to shoot you guys the ROM sometime just to try it out. So it was a fighting game where you had these different characters you could play as, but they dropped you in a big 3D arena, and then you would go and fight. And like you would find weapons, and you could use weapons and stuff like that. And there was like verticality to the levels. It was a really, really interesting game. And I remember the thing that blew my mind the most about that game, being a kid that I was on the loading screen, there was like a little like skull and then the word loading, and you could move them around with your thumbsticks. So like you could just like take the skull and move it around the screen, and then you could move the now loading around. But like just the fact that you could do that to give you something to do while it was loading was great as a kid. But yeah, so when you said
that reminds me of waving the now loading screen in Castlevania Symphony of the Night like a banner when you move around.
Yes. Yeah, it's just the 3D fighting thing. I can relate to that because Barbarian reminded me of that, so I can get that feeling from it as well.
Now, I got a question for you, Dalton. It's a simple one. Since you talked about how long it took you to figure out which button to hit for Devil Trigger, did you ever figure out you could hot swap between Alistair and Ifrit?
Nope.
You
click
what?
R3. Click R3, and he would do like a little animation, and it would either do an orange aura pop out when you're swapping to Ifrit, or a purple one when you're swapping to Alistair.
No shit. No idea. And from the look on Willie's face, he did not know that either.
Nope.
I,
I looked at the menu to figure out like my inputs for my actual attacks, but I never looked at it for things like that.
I did not discover that until the HD collection came out. As many times as I played this, because I never used the Ifrit unless I absolutely had to. So essentially, for Fire Puzzle and Fat and Griffin.
Now, fucking A, dude. No, that's...
I just ruined your night, didn't I?
I'm just like, yeah, because there was just so many times that I would have to swap to Ifrit for like a little, like have to light something on fire or something like that. And if I could just like click that, it'd have been great. Let me tell you something else, and I'll be curious when Willie gets back to know if he dealt with this. I know you probably didn't because you're used to it. How many times I saw Dante lean back and wave somebody on with his pistols because I tried to move the camera with the right thumbstick, and anytime you move it, he just does this little taunt. So like so many times I would do a taunt and be like, God damn it. I didn't mean to do that.
Well, it's good for pulling aggro, and it's good for like getting that style meter up. Because you taunt and you don't get hit, and you let the animation play all the way out. It gives you a little boost.
Okay. I was racking my brain being like, why does he have a taunt? Like, what is that necessary for? But okay, that makes sense.
And then, you can use that to pull aggro to get them closer to you before you get the stinger attack, which will let you shoot forward using your sword like a javelin to close distance. That was always my favorite attack.
Man,
I spammed the hell out of stinger.
I apparently just played this game like a fucking noob. Went in just swinging my sword and blasting bullets. That explains probably why I had so many issues in some spots. Let me tell you some of the issues I had, and this was probably just with the collection, it being a PC game, and PC games be PC gaming. The area where you go and the lion statue is behind the bluish purple, and you can't go through it. It's like you have to go and do something else to get that to go away. Then you destroy the statue. So I walked too close to that and touched it with Dante, and my game went brrrr, and just made this god awful noise. And I ended up having to Alt F4. That happened to me again later on. I got to the Dark Knight. I don't remember his name, but the Black Knight dude who comes down and you got to fight him. He's got the big
Nilo Angelo.
Nilo Angelo, yeah. So him, he stabbed me and like lifted Dante up on the sword, and it did the same thing, and just made this god awful noise. And I had to Alt F4 and it froze. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I just chalked that up to old game jank.
It worked fine on Linux.
Yeah, I didn't have any like weird crash.
Yeah, there's no fucking.
It sounds like a Gates issue.
Yeah. Probably like a random PDF or something.
So fucking, I never understood the taunt either. So I'm glad you told. So it raises your magic meter? Is that what you're saying?
No,
because
if you can complete the animation without getting hit or canceling out of it, it pulls aggro from the enemies, so they'll come at you faster, and it will increase your style meter.
I was gonna say, pulls aggro from what though? There's not another guy.
Like if the enemies are moving slow and kind of meandering about, not coming at you, you do that, it's going to piss them off, and they're going to come at you quicker.
That makes sense. Like, especially the puppet dudes love to just fucking chill.
Yeah, the marionettes are just, I almost said meat bags, but they're just hanging out and taking their sweet ass time.
Yeah.
Speaking of those fuckers, so when I first played this game and loaded it up and was playing, I got to the room with the plane in it that has all the dolls hanging. And for the life
Chekhov's
of me,
plane.
Yeah, Chekhov's plane. For the life of me, I could not fucking figure out what to do, right? I saw the symbol on the wall tucked in the corner, and I shot it, I whacked it, and I'm like, nothing's really happening. What the fuck? So I bounced off. I didn't come back to the game for a few days because I was just like, I didn't want to look up a guide. I did not want to be defeated by a PS2 game. So I came back to it, and I got frustrated, and I went over to that symbol, and I was like, God damn it. And I hit it with my sword, and was like, stupid fucking symbol. And it lit up, and I went, motherfucker. And it took me down, and I was like, okay.
All right. Earlier we established for me, all I have is hammers, everything's a nail. For Dante, all he has is a sword. Everything's
I felt very similar about Raiden in Metal Gear Revengeance. Yeah. I think I said something very similar, actually. Where I just tried slashing shit because that is my that's the verb I have.
So, yeah. Once I figured that out, it was smooth sailing for the rest of the game, other than a few difficult battles here and there. For one, like, did this game, with the camera that it has, did this game really need the Indiana Jones scene? Like, did you need to be running away towards the camera with a giant lava spider chasing you? I don't know if that
Twice.
needed to be. Yeah, twice.
Well, if you're a badass, you can kill it.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking run. I killed him later.
And it's real fun when you do it. When you do it, he will like burrow a lava tunnel in the middle of the hallway and go down. And he won't break the rest of the pillars on the way down. But when you come back later, it's all broken because they didn't account for that.
That's a very just interesting part that I was just like, why? But all right, but I also asked you, Dane, I was like, why did I was like, the Nello, what was his name?
Nilo Angelo.
Nilo Angelo.
Nilo Angelo. I don't know why I can't remember that. Nilo Angelo. He made sense.
It's Nelly Furtado.
And then
Ave Maria.
I didn't understand the big lava spider. I'm like, I was like, is this an actual demon, or did they just make this up? And that was when Dane pointed out that was a time, and I think you either said Capcom or just gaming in general, where they were like, what if we took a thing and made it really big and made it an enemy?
Well, it was a Resident Evil thing, like the giant gators.
Yeah. They were just like, well, let's make a Shelob.
I don't know. It was interesting to me, but
that is definitely something I want to point out is this game is very video gamey in a lot of ways. Like, if it had come out like 10 years later, it would not have been broken down into missions like it is. Like, it would have had like save points or whatever, and you'd trek back and forth through the castle, but it wouldn't have been as weirdly linear despite being a game that actually reuses locales in a really intelligent way. Like, they would have tried to make it fake non-linear, you know what I mean? Well,
that is really chalked up to, what was the director's name? Hideki Kamiya, I think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had a deep love of that old arcade style, and he wanted to bring that, which in some of the later missions really, really shows where it's essentially a, shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
Doing the weird flying mission. And that is a signature thing because you do the same thing in Bayonetta.
There was a couple spots in this game where it's like, all right, mission start. I would start the mission. I would run into a room and pick up an item. End of mission. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's the Resident Evil DNA.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah,
what the
for sure.
fuck? So then, not only that.
Begin of next mission. You're going to die in 5 minutes if you don't get to the end of this. Run.
Yeah.
And Dane, you warned me about this, but the sudden underwater first-person shooter stuff.
Mission 13. Fuck that level.
Really weird.
I was not warned about this one, or at least I wasn't paying attention if I was warned. I actually kind of liked that part, but I'm a big weird freak and just enjoy when things take a change of pace.
Well, prepare yourself, sir, because at the end of the game, suddenly you'll be the Red fucking Baron. Like, there's some really weird turns.
I assumed that that's what Mr. Puzzles meant when he said Chekhov's plane, that it would in fact come back. Yes, for the love of the viewers, I didn't finish this game. I actually had some really big technical struggles with it early on, not because of the installation, but because what I didn't realize was I was playing on a controller that was essentially non-functional. Yeah. And so I just thought I was really fucking bad at this game, because what I was feeling like was you had to hold the, let's use PlayStation button language, triangle button down for like a quarter of a second to get an attack to come out with the sword. And I'm like, well, if I hold it down for a full second though, then it does the little pop-up attack and my guy jumps, and that's not what I want. How did they get... And then eventually I tried cleaning that button out with rubbing alcohol and realized, nope, it is actually supposed to be tap to slash. It is completely fine. And I bait that, like, that's what got me past the giant spider boss the first time you fight the Phantom. But a couple stages later, you need much more precise shooting with the gun, and I had a similar problem. Rubbing alcohol didn't fix it. Then I remembered a conversation I had with Mikhailov on the show not too long ago, where I was talking to him about, maintaining controllers with rubbing alcohol, and he asked, does it make it like new? And I said, not like new, really, because it doesn't have the same snap that you would expect. It helps, but it doesn't make it perfect. And I remember not too long ago, he sent me, maybe for a birthday present or something like that, he sent me a wireless 8-bit DOE controller, which I have here. I also really like, hold on, let me change the mode on it, because it has the colors. I like the mode where if you push the one stick, the other one has like the color. That's kind of neat.
That is cool.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah. And this one has completely fresh face buttons, so I started playing with that today when I was stuck at I was stuck at the level after you first fight the Black Knight, and all of a sudden I got to level 15. So I finished 11 missions of the game today, just playing off and on very briefly. So it does have a bit of a difficulty curve when you first get to learning it, because until you learn the spacing and the good combos, and generally when to use your gun and when to use your sword, you're going to play it a little fucky. And also my approach against the spider monster was kind of stupid anyway, so...
My go-to is always stand on his ass and just beat the hell out of him.
See, it took me forever to realize I could actually stand on him. I was basically trying to just bait out head attacks, and that has mixed results. And also, I figured out at some point that you can reflect the fireball spit attack, and because I was having that issue with the button sticking and not coming out when I wanted it to, that means I could never time it right. So it was just like a coin flip whether I would actually reflect it or I would just get hit by an attack that does massive damage and knocks you prone. But I mean, in the end, I got pretty far. I feel like I got to I got through the boat and back, and I killed the Phoenix or
Griffin.
Griffin. Thank you. Yes,
I want to say you've got.
I think I'm 2/3 of the way through the game essentially.
I think you've got 7 or 8 missions left. Yeah, it's not many.
That is. I think that's correct. I did look at an IGN guide to get an idea of how far I was in, because when I was not that long from recording, a couple days, and I was still kind of stuck early on, I'm like, I'm going to be fucking useless. That's why I didn't give any progress reports about this one, because I felt bad about the fact that I had hours on this game and didn't realize it was my controller holding me back.
Oh, but luckily now you tried out that 8-bit DOE and that controller rule.
Yeah.
So.
No, this controller is fantastic. Again, very many thank you to Mikhailov for sending me this. You've had some really awesome gifts. I believe he sent me that when he sent me the 3D printed Ice Brand sword, which has kind of wiggled out of its hilt, so I need to figure out how to glue it back together. But I do like the Ice Brand sword I have.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that thing's sweet. Yeah, I got my...
That's the first time I got to see it.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty cool. The problem is, I think it may have been glued in, and it came out of the tang, kind of, so...
Yeah, just put you a little
I think probably just... Yeah, I think if I just super glue it or hot glue it or something, it should be fine. I think that's probably how I kept it together in the first place. And, there is, the seam, because he had to put it in pieces, but it's really cool. It makes me feel like an RPG hero. I love... He based it on, the pixel art logo I did, but I don't have the taper out and back down that he has. Mine just goes straight. And, I feel like adding that gives it this very cool, stylized, I don't know. It feels like something an Akira Toriyama Dragon Quest type hero would have.
I was literally about to say that's Willie's anime sword. That's the anime version of his sword.
Yeah, that's stage 2 of the Master Sword before you take it to the Great Fairy.
I love that. Yes. Anyway, that sword, I love it, and yeah, I love the controller. I remember I just showed you guys the lights on it and stuff because it's the lights.
You can't see it, but out of view, hanging up there, I have the Dagoth mask that he 3D printed me, which is sweet.
Yeah, I think he sent us those at about the same time because our birthdays are really close to each other. So I think that he was giving us all that shit as birthday gifts.
Yeah, I believe you are correct.
It's just it was 2 waves of gifts essentially because there was the handheld and then there was the controller and 3D print.
Listeners, I know we haven't really, and Dane, like I said, I'll let you fill in any gaps.
You're good.
But we haven't really talked much about the story, and that's because the story that I got from this was: dude is in office, hot girl shows up, we need to kill the devil. All right, so we go, we slay some demons, whack, whack, whack. Some shenanigans happen. You kill said demon. You are demon son yourself. Girl gets stabbed. Shout at the sky. Fly a plane. you're back in your office. Girl was alive.
The story is really thin, and it's mostly in implication of just Dante talking smack and lore of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta.
I feel like the story in DMC 1 is very vibes based, not lore based.
Because, like
even when they talked about the Dark Lord Sparta, like, he defeated Mundus 2,000 years ago, and then stuff happened. That's about it. Later, dude. By the way, Mundus is back, I guess.
So, as much as I love this game, the story makes no fucking sense, and I want to explain why. So, Dante hanging out in his shop. Trish shows up, tries to kill him. Surprise, it's a test. I want to make sure that you're good for this. Mundus is coming back. You probably don't know him, but we gotta go. Stop him. He's going to destroy the human realm. Thousands of years ago, Sparta, who was Mundus's right hand, decided this is evil as fuck and turned on Mundus to protect mankind and sealed all of the major gates between hell and earth. And 30 some years ago at this point, knocked up a human woman, had twin boys, and fucked off. He disappeared. The games, to my knowledge, never actually say, did he die? Did he leave? What?
I like to imagine he kind of had the similar fate as, oh, never mind. I was about to give a massive anime spoiler that doesn't happen until, half the show in. Never mind. If you know, you know.
So, you go through the game, the recurring cross, because the game's essentially boiled down into 3 major boss arcs before you get to the final boss. You have the Phantom set, you have the Griffin set, and you have the Nightmare set, and then you go against Mundus. But the recurring guy who seems like a match for Dante is Nilo Angelo, who we've mentioned.
So Nilo Angelo is debuted in the level The Dark Knight, or The Black Knight, sorry, not The Dark Knight. And he is basically just kind of like, yeah, he is the knight. Now he's a fucking he's a swordy man demon-y guy who's big and strong, but kind of fights in a kind of honorable way, and moves around and beckons you to come fight. And he seems like he loves to fight you. And even Dante first meets him and is like, oh, I didn't think I'd run into anyone with guts in a place like this. And I don't know why I gave Dante that voice, because that's not what he sounds like.
And I know you said you got to level 15, but I can't remember the last level with Nilo Angelo. Did you finish the 3rd fight, Willie?
I don't know if I did. No, he definitely left. The last time I killed him, I feel like he basically looked like he exploded, but then he just kind of became lightning and floated away. So I don't think he got killed.
Did you unlock the Sparta?
No. Okay. No. If the Sparta gets a second form, then no. The Sparta sword is still the basic bitch sword for me.
Okay. So this is a spoiler if you plan on going further into it, but it's a really subtle one that you have to read item descriptions to fully appreciate. So,
love me a souls.
So for the 3rd fight with Nilo Angelo, he takes his helmet off and he looks very similar to Dante.
Oh, is he Virgil? Okay.
Yeah. And after you kill him, he drops an amulet that matches the one Dante has, which
says Dante and Virgil on the back according to the item description. Okay, yeah.
So, and whenever he picks up this amulet, you hear these sounds of children playing at, I think, a birthday party, and it's 2 boys. And
this is not
Dante
subtle.
has the brooding. Dante has the brooding face. Well, it went completely over Dalton's head.
It did.
So, I don't even think Virgil's name is uttered. You have to read item descriptions to get Virgil's name.
To be fair, also, Dalton didn't realize that Ronnie from Elden Ring was actually Luke Skywalker's dad, so...
What?
That one was just for me. Someone in the audience is going to like it. Both of them just shut up. Truncate Silence is going to eat that, but they just looked at me for 8 seconds
I jokes only dogs can hear.
No, I want to fully admit that by the time I got to the Nilo Angelo stuff, I was skipping cutscenes because at that point the story didn't make any sense to me. It just seemed like action game, which made me wonder.
I like that. That's weird because I thought you would really like the cutscenes just because they were so
cheesy.
No, they're like underworld or in Rice type vibes. Like I thought you just would have liked to be in that early OO's goth shit again.
I really enjoyed running around and looking around the levels more than I did the cutscenes themselves. Like I just enjoyed exploring as Dante. But yeah, you are correct. I loved the whole aesthetic of the castle you were in. So yeah, I'll fully admit that's on me. And you said that the story picks up more in the third game, correct?
Yeah, the third one is the strongest point story-wise because it goes back to like late teens, early 20s Dante before he has awakened his devil abilities, and the primary antagonist is Virgil.
Cool.
Ah, okay.
And that is where everyone falls in love with Virgil. Then you get to Devil May Cry 4, where you play for the first half of the game as Nero. And the worst kept secret in video gaming is that Nero is Virgil's bastard son.
Okay.
So he's
and
Nero
then you get
Angelo.
Well, you don't know how much you're stumbling into like plot points with that. And then Devil May Cry 5 is where they finally make Nero cool. And then that game you're playing is...
The only things I know about Devil May Cry outside of remembering renting 1 as a kid and not getting very far in it is just when they came out with the second anime, the Netflix one, and they had the teaser that was to Limp Bizkit's Rollin'. And I was just like, that's about right.
Yeah, whenever I saw the teaser and realized, oh, they made Limp Bizkit the opening theme, I decided right then and there, I'm not watching this.
It made a lot of sense to me somehow.
Did either of you ever see the old Devil May Cry anime? Nothing to do with Netflix. I watched this on Crunchyroll back in the day.
No, that's why I said this is the second anime, because I do know there is an anime as opposed to the Netflix production.
Had one of the best...
I've seen it in bits and pieces over years.
Okay. To me, it had one of the greatest anime opening scenes ever. First episode. Just a seedy little bar. And Dante, I don't remember if he goes walking in or if he's already sitting at the bar, but like somebody comes up to the bar and starts having a conversation with Dante, and they get fresh with him, and he just blows their fucking head off, which causes a couple other people to demon out around him because the person he killed was a demon, and he just slays like everybody in the fucking bar. And I think, if I remember right, it's either he kills the bartender too, or the bartender's left alive. But I feel like I remember him paying his tab after all these people died and then walking out. And I was just like, that's fucking fantastic. Like, this is tremendous. Oh, dude. But yeah. When I heard Limp Bizkit was oddly fitting, but at the same time, it felt weird to me. I feel like when I think Devil May Cry, I think of metalcore. I don't think of nu metal.
They have so much awesome music in the soundtracks for these games, and the only song they actually use from any of the games in the new Netflix anime is a remix version of the song Devil Trigger, which is the theme song for Nero from Devil May Cry 5. They didn't even use a Dante theme.
I was gonna say, if you gave me like a contemporaneous song to use to try to do a Devil May Cry anime, I would have been like, oh, if we're going AMV with it, it's Bring Me to Life, baby.
Honestly, you know what song comes to my mind? Like, if I want to think about, like, I'm whipping ass as Dante, what song would be playing in my head? Fucking Rain. That Yakuza 0 song.
Oh, from Yakuza 0, yeah.
Like, that song is, like, just coded for beating ass. So, like, just give me more stuff like that. And the DMC music was good. Like, even playing this game, I thought that the music was good. I was just a rocking little thing as I was running around. Like,
so one thing I thought was really interesting is it felt like the music almost like, I couldn't tell if it was local to the areas. It was like, obviously there was battle music and normal music, but I couldn't tell if, like, when you're in the castle, if like the classical Baroque type stuff played depending on the area you were in, or if it was like just a really mixy ambient song, you know?
Yeah, they had their background ambient tracks that would, fade into the combat track, and then once you kill the last thing, that fades back away and it goes back to whatever that area's ambient kind of music and sound is.
But there was just like a single ambient track that like would just kind of fade in different genres aside from the combat music, right? Like, because I feel like sometimes you would get like some choir singing or like some Baroque organ out of nowhere.
Yeah, they had a couple. It wasn't just a single one. They had a couple of tracks.
Okay.
I always like the combat music better, so like the ambient stuff never really jumps out super memorable. Like there's the main one that you get a lot when you first get on the island that still is seared in my brain.
But like, I do feel like, and like also there was like the kind of Baroque music that would play when like major enemy or when enemies were debuted for the first time, even if they weren't going to be a major enemy. Like, because you run into the one that the Lions challenge enemy several times throughout the course of the game, but the first time it feels like a really weird special encounter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Shadow, which is a normal enemy in this game and would be a boss fight in pretty much any other game.
Yeah.
And it is essentially your training for taking on Nightmare later in the game.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, because like I did feel like basically it was like read the pattern really quick, use your gun until it reveals its weak point, or use Devil Trigger attacks if you have them. Because I think, at least against the Shadow, at least the first time you fight it, if you hit it with a melee attack and it doesn't have Devil Trigger on it, I think that actually causes you damage.
I so seldom notice when I'm taking damage where I get fucked up so often playing these games. I'm just trying not to die and get my Devil Trigger gauge built up enough so that I can flash it and get my health topped off.
See, that's the other thing, is it took me a really long time, and I'm sure when Dalton comes back, he'll say the same thing. It took me a really long time to realize how quickly Devil Trigger replenishes. Like, you can be healing a lot in this game, and I was not using that resource for a lot of it.
Now, a fun thing about the Shadow and Griffin, in Devil May Cry 5, they introduce a third character with completely different mechanics from anything in any of the other games. His name is V, he is physically weak, and his weapon is a cane. He has 2 pet demons, well, technically 3. Shadow, which is his melee attack, Griffin, which is a smaller scaled down version for his range, and then when he uses Devil Trigger, he summons a alternate version of the Nightmare boss, which is like a hulking golem in this one. And you are kind of acting as a field general, moving around really slow because he can't run for very long. He will stumble, and then Shadow will do that weird puddle scoot thing underneath him, and then you're skateboarding on Shadow instead of sprinting.
That actually sounds really wild for a playable character.
It's really, really cool, and the first time I played that game, my video card could not handle all the shit that happens on screen at once when you're playing with him, so I would actually have to play bad to not crash the game. But we're talking about 1, not 5, though. Dalton's back, so killed enough time.
Dalton, I was going to ask, Dalton, did you also find that, like, you didn't realize for a while how quickly Devil Trigger replenished?
Yeah, no,
Because, like, after a while I realized, I can be in Devil Trigger, like, half the goddamn time as long as I'm fighting aggressively. But for a while I'm like, I gotta save this as, like, my limit break.
Yeah, I would use it to, like, get from A to B quicker, but anytime that I would be in a fight, I would be like, man, should I save this Devil Trigger up for something more? Because I didn't know if I needed to find items to replenish it. Like, I didn't know. So yeah, I'm there with you, that I didn't realize that it would just come back as quickly as it did until about, I think I was, like, dealing with Griffin when I was like...
Yeah, it was definitely the Griffin fight on the boat where I was like, oh my god, if I use the handguns, I'm getting my Devil Trigger back, like, faster than I'm using it.
With Griffin, my strat was always swap to Ifrit because it would increase the damage output for ranged weapons, and use a grenade launcher on them.
See, I used the grenade launcher on the first fight against Griffin. I used Ifrit and grenade on the first fight, I think, and I really enjoyed that combo. But I just couldn't seem to hit him because there's so much shit that your grenade runs into on the boat that, like, I thought it was better to just keep shooting and keep on pressuring with Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah, the boat is a little bit trickier. I think if you're up there, I know directions on a boat, but I don't know what the different levels are called. But, up there where you would be steering from, you have the least stuff in your way. Yeah. But you're also the most
bridge,
exposed.
I think. But yeah, I preferred being exposed because, like, it could, the lightning laser thing could go through obstacles anyway. So, like, I would rather have a clear line of sight on him. He could have a clear line of sight on me too, but he didn't need it. So, and then when he started doing the lightnings, I could just run towards the fore of the ship and then come back to aft later and shoot at him some more.
Yeah, I will say that my favorite ranged weapon in this game was by far the shotgun, as it always is in any game that has a shotgun. That is my shit.
I felt like I kept falling in love with different weapons over time, but the way the shotgun dealt with the little witch monsters was just like almost a cheat code.
Yeah, it's just getting that timing down to knock the scissors away and then blast them in the face.
Yeah.
A mechanic
Once you got
they kept for later games where they do pop back up.
Awesome, because I felt like that was a really satisfying fight once you learned it. And I also thought it was really educational too, because the room you get the shotgun in is the library, and that's the same room you first fight the witch monsters in. Like, that was really well done, well signposted.
And to hammer it home even further,
design.
There is a secret mission very close to when you get the shotgun and fight that monster for the first time. There's a secret mission where the challenge is kill one of those in one shot to pass.
Yeah, because if you can
there's
get up
also
in
a
its grill,
bullshit one, but like the secret missions are really hit and miss in this game.
I only found one secret mission, and the way it was worded was really stupid. It was on the level where you're being drained by the God, what was the item that drained? There's so many random key items you get for one level in this game, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was the one that drains your health when you have it. And the implication of the secret mission was that you needed to get the spiders lured somewhere to kill them, but really it was just kill 2 of the non-lava versions of the Phantom.
Yeah, I didn't hit that one on this playthrough, so I don't remember that one very clearly.
It was just like a big open sewery room. I think it was the same room that like a sewer opened up and you got a rusty key in on the way through the basements.
The most bullshit secret mission, the one that I hate the most, the Sargassos, the floating skulls.
Yeah.
There's one mission where you have to use the ability Enemy Step, where you jump off of a enemy's head, and they have like a stair step of like 10 of them that you have to jump and jump and jump and jump, bouncing off their heads to grab
there's a really fun level in Mario Galaxy that sounds like that.
But this game, the way the camera and the platforming in Devil May Cry games, it's always there. It's always terrible. These games are not made for this. I don't know why they keep sticking it in there. I love the games, but I hate their platforming moments.
The weird thing, too, is I feel like the platforming was really up and down in this game, too, because there were areas where the platforming seemed generous almost. Like, there's a section where there's a bunch of floating elevator platforms that kind of go up and down in the central courtyard where you're trying to get this item from kind of a mid-pillar. And every time you move to the front of the platform, the game doesn't let you walk off the end. It rotates the camera to where if you do a forward jump, once it's done rotating, you just land it as long as you time it right. But then, like, there was also when the bridge collapses and you want to go back over it to get the blue orb, like, every time the camera just seemed to fuck me over for no reason there.
Yeah, that the broken bridge is the worst platforming in this, that's not involving that secret mission.
But at the very least, the price of failure is just you have to fight like a room full of Sargassos again, and it's really not bad. Sargassi? I guess it sounds like an Italian word.
Sagasi.
Babadaboopy.
Bibidi-babidi-boop. I hate to admit it, I feel like I need to play through this game again. I do not think I came across a single secret mission. I looked for them because I knew they were there, and I found some places that I felt like they were hinting towards a secret mission. Like I would look at a painting and there would be a weird feeling coming from it, but I never figured out anything to do with it.
They're signposted better in later games. A lot of times it's backtracking to somewhere that you were in the previous mission. They'll stick a secret mission in there.
Okay.
Like, I think if you backtrack after the first Phantom fight, you'll go into that same room where you fought Phantom for the first time, and there's tons and tons of little baby spiders everywhere that you have to kill, and if you kill them all, you get the blue orb fragment, which blue orbs incidentally raise your health.
Oh, okay. I did find that then. Okay, so I did find a secret. I feel better now.
But the one secret mission I found was like on the way back when you have the item that drains your max health. If you keep on going down one of the big semicircular corridors and just go through a door you went through earlier, it just immediately begins the secret mission, which is weird as hell. Like it just says you're in secret mission 3 or whatever.
But in 3 and 4, they signpost secret missions with an object will be suspiciously red, whereas it's not normally. And if you interact with it, it will take you to the secret mission. And then in 5, you'll see these weird kind of patterns carved in like the scenery, and if you stand in one specific spot and tilt the camera a certain way to where all of the lines match up to show some weird demonic sigil, that will take you to the secret mission.
Oh, okay. Well, boys, is there anything else that we'd like to touch on with Devil May Cry? Anything that we haven't gotten to yet?
I mean, I feel like the main things you can even criticize about this game are just it being very 2001 in nature.
Yeah.
The plot is thin and shit is just not really explained because it is a video game that says, I put a giant spider in front of you. Dante knows it's a problem. You know it's a problem. Fight the giant spider. It doesn't say, you need to look at the item descriptions to understand the lore of the giant spider or whatever. Like, it's from its time in a way that's both good and bad, and that definitely, in the terms of bad, includes cameras for platforming ain't that good. Cameras for combat ain't that good in some of the arenas. I really think that the first fight against the Phantom has you just get stuck on stuff because the camera won't let you see the goddamn pillars that are in the room a lot of the time. And I also feel like one of the weird things about this game, too, is if you just beat a level that took you like 10 minutes and you immediately go back and replay it, you'll beat it in 4. Every time. It's like, there's this weird sense of like, things feel better until you know things feel bigger until you know what it wants you to do. And then they feel very, very small.
I guess there's 2 points that I wanted to definitely cover on this before we wrap all that up. Mm-hmm. One, a fun fact, this game was born from a glitch.
How so?
It originated as a glitch when they were developing Onimusha.
That makes a ton of sense. I kept wanting to compare this to Onimusha because I did want to say that was like the prior art in the genre up until that point.
But there was a glitch where if you use certain attacks as Samanosuke, you would juggle enemies, which was not an intended mechanic. And someone goes, wait, that's kind of cool.
And so they were like, that looks so cool, we should make a game where you juggle enemies and we rate you on how cool you are.
And well,
this is why Hideki Kamiya got paid the big bucks, dude. That guy was visionary. Still is, I guess. And
when the game was being developed, they took that mechanic and they were developing a new Resident Evil game. And in that one, the character name was Tony Redgrave. And then they realized as they were getting more and more demonic, they were like, this is getting far away from our core themes in Resident Evil. Let's branch it off into a new thing. And when they did Devil May Cry, they changed him from Tony Redgrave, which gets alluded to in later games as a fun little fan Easter egg, to Dante. And by referencing Dante's Inferno, that's why his brother's named Virgil.
Right.
Tony Redgrave.
That's cool that I was gonna say it's cool that they bring up the name Tony Redgrave again because it's like there's like a little Easter egg in Doom 2016 that references Flynn Taggart, which is the name of the Doom guy protagonist in the Doom novels. It's like little things like that where they're referencing the development and the early things that I feel like are cool shoutouts for fans.
I do not think the character would have been as popular if its name was Tony Redgrave.
Now, I feel like Dante really, like, the thing is, I don't know if they realized, like, in Japan, how much the Dante's Inferno was considered, like, a masterpiece of Western, like, culture. But the moment you tell us the main character of the game is named Dante, we're immediately thinking, okay, this is about hell, this is about demons, this is about, like...
a volcano.
That kind of shit. It's very gothic, and you did that joke already.
I don't care, I'm bringing it back.
Fucking callbacks.
But
that callback was peak, sir.
There you go. See?
And I got so sidetracked, I forgot the other thing that I was going to bring up.
You said Tony Redgrave, and you said that it was originally a glitch in Onimusha based on Samanosuke's apparently being able to stun lock enemies into a juggle.
Oh, I remember now. So, the fun fact, we covered those. But the other thing was just the ridiculous skill ceiling for this game. Because this game was notoriously difficult. It has the moment after you've died so many times where it will pop up a dialogue box giving you the option to switch to easy automatic mode, which is essentially like, on that show Hot Ones, where they're going through the progressively hotter and then they get to the last dab where he says, now it's optional. You can put a little extra of this super lava sauce on your wing. You don't have to, though. But the implication is he's calling you a bitch if you don't.
Yeah.
I feel like the game is calling me a bitch when it says, do you want to switch to easy mode?
Would you like to turn the difficulty down?
But when you beat normal, you unlock hard. When you beat hard mode, you unlock Dante Must Die mode. In Dante Must Die mode, if you don't defeat the enemies fast enough, they devil trigger.
Oh, shit.
And if I'm not mistaken, in the first Devil May Cry, you have to be in Devil Trigger to actually damage Devil Triggered enemies to be able to kill them. Ooh. So it turns into a time trial. You got to kill them quick, or they're going to fuck up your shit.
That's brutal.
But beating that will give you Super Dante, which lets you have infinite Devil Trigger. And I think that's also how you unlock the secret Sparta skin, which will give you the Yamato, which... It's a katana. It has the same properties as the Alistair sword, but you start off the game with it instead of having to unlock it. So you've got Devil Trigger and the lightning abilities from the get-go.
And that also makes sense if this game was spawned from Onimusha that they put a katana in there.
But I think that this game's biggest failing, which I'm going to throw up a little, they fixed in number 2. Mission select. Because in this game, if you are banging your head against this mission for difficulty or whatever, you're just stuck there. Starting from 2 forward, you have the option to go back and play earlier missions to grind out some red orbs to get some items back.
Ooh, that's nice.
Or to upgrade your skills to get more. Whereas in this one, you're just kind of stuck. And if you miss a secret mission, guess what? You get to play the whole game again and try and wrap back around. If you're trying to get that perfect score sheet of all S ranks. You fucked it up, guess what? You get to go all the way back around. So for people who want to just master the game and get all the shit, Devil May Cry 1, early entry, growing pains, it set a standard that the second one failed and then the third one exceeded, and they've carried that torch forward. So that's what I wanted to say on it. And if y'all guys continue on with this franchise and play later games, I strongly suggest just passing 2.
But that's the one I have nostalgia for, Dane.
I love you, but you're wrong. And now that you've played number 1, you're going to realize how bad they messed up to going back to it.
Fair enough. It'll be interesting to do that for sure. I will say,
but 3 is also where the story actually really starts, and it's predictable. It's melodramatic anime nonsense, but it's fun.
Hey, I'm all about fun, melodramatic anime nonsense. I do love Persona games. I will say my most common rank was B. I got a B a lot. I did get a couple S's, and I got a C in one level, because I did not do very well. But
I've never hit an S rank, didn't even know you could do that on normal mode. I was kind of averaging C's and got some B's and D's.
Yeah. All right.
One thing though I did notice, because I played it so badly, because I did have kind of the limp controller for a while, I did end up restarting the game twice because I spent basically all my yellow orbs way too early. And later on in the game, it's not that big of a problem because you get red orbs in such quantity that you can buy yellow orbs and it's not that big of a problem. But if you use all your yellow orbs in like the first couple missions, it is kind of a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you explore really good, you can stumble across some. They're not very common, though.
Yeah, you do find a few, but just early on, and like, if you're dying a couple times in a starter level, maybe it's better to restart the level.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also learned the hard way that you can save at any time, but you're not going to start back where you're at. You're going to start back at the beginning of the mission. God damn it. But again,
and did anybody else get old anime vibes of Dante is Vash the Stampede thrown in a blender with Inuyasha, and then Legato's head stuck on top?
In terms of design, I can totally see that. Yeah,
design-wise.
You gave me a
because you got the 2 guns, you got the evil twin, you got the sword that starts off kind of weak, but then transforms into a massive demon blade later.
You're not wrong.
Maybe sprinkle in a dash of Trinity blood. Yeah. All right, dude. Let's do some ratings, my good gentlemen. I thought this was a solid game. I think that there is room for improvement because, again, this was the first in the series, and it's gone on to do bigger and better things since. Fun, very short. I think I cleared it in 4 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, something like that. But man, after playing like Metal Gear Revengeance, going back to this, it definitely showed its age in a few different ways, and I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5 Dantes out of 10 Infernos. Red Riding Hood, what about you?
Yeah, so sorry I have my hood up because I saw a ladybug flying around in my room, and if it lands on my neck, I'm going to freak out and act weird. So I'm just going to have the hood up. I mean, I felt like there were a couple issues in terms of, I really feel like this game's control scheme is pretty much like the opposite of ergonomic. Like, this game will hurt your wrist to play.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
But
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
OG
also,
had triangle for jump. So
yeah, I did end up looking up some FAQs to get past a couple things where I'm like, am I not doing the right thing? And usually it was like, oh, you are doing the right thing, you're just subtly doing it wrong. But so yeah, I saw like triangle for jump and I'm like, what the fuck is that? But ultimately I felt like it was like, this is where this genre comes from. This is the birth of the character action genre. And it's like, you can see where Hideki Kamiya, like, where he immediately came out bursting with the ideas. Like, taking the genre that wasn't really 3D games until now, like these kind of 2D beat-em-ups, and making them into a 3D genre that actually worked. I think this game is necessary and seminal. I do think that it's probably outclassed by a lot of its descendants, but I had a lot of fun playing it. It shows its age in some ways, but it also shows why it is the beginning of its time in others. And I'm going to go ahead and give it 8 Circles of Hell out of 10. The 10th Circle of Hell is, of course, having to play Blair Witch for the podcast.
Oh, man. Fucking hilarious.
he's not bitter.
I'm the only one that finished it. I have the right.
Yeah, I was going to say, he finished it. He's very bitter.
And they have the right to be bitter, too, because they were expecting me to record with them, and I'm like, no, not until I beat this game.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a chance. Give it a chance to redeem itself. Because boy, oh boy, when I talk about it, I don't want anyone to be able to say boo about what I think.
But you didn't even see the ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Dane, what's your rating, man?
Oh, it is so hard to be unbiased with this game because I have loved it for more than half of my life. Like Willie mentioned, this essentially established the subgenre of character action, which is still a very unfortunately niche and underdeveloped style of game.
Yeah.
Because it's basically at this point Devil May Cry and Platinum Games.
And
yeah, Platinum Games is basically it.
No, well, there's the one that's made by the guy that's strange. No More Heroes.
No More Heroes, yeah.
Yeah, I would put that in there as well because that's a Travis Hero or whatever his name is a very character.
Travis Touchdown.
Never played that one. I might actually have to check it out.
Yeah, I only know of it through cultural osmosis, but from what I know of it, that's another kind of character action game because it's very based on him being the main character.
And of course, Metal Gear Rising is also in the same category. But
Didn't Platinum work on Metal Gear Rising?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were the ones who had to bring it over the end.
Yeah.
Devil May Metal Gear Automata.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Kojima May Cry.
Yeah.
I think that was the joke he used for that episode.
Kojima May Cry.
So, but taking off the nostalgia goggles, but also allowing for the fact that it was a trailblazer for this genre and established so many of the tropes. It hurts my heart, but 8 melodramatic screams out of 10 filling your Dark Souls with light.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm with Willie on that one. Yeah.
I'm glad that you were the one to fill our Dark Souls with light.
I still fucking love this game. It's a 10 out of 10 in my heart.
I
just
get
because
that.
of the franchise.
I get
and
that,
it's
man.
just fucking blast to play. Like, even though it is dated, I feel like if you spend a couple hours with it to get over the datedness of it, you will have a good time with it. It's not like Tomb Raider where I'm like, I could see why someone would like this. It's more along the lines of, no, I'm having fun.
Willie, I was literally about to say, Dane, take the feeling that you have right now, minus it by about 4 of me and Willie liking it, and that's how I was when I played Tomb Raider with the boys. And I was like, I fucking love this game. What did you guys think? And they're like, it's a game. I'm like, fuck, man, But I have a ton of nostalgia with that, so.
I still have faith that we're going to find a Tomb Raider game I like. I still like Lara Croft. I want to be on an adventure with her. And no judgment, just because a bad remaster and a reboot that I wasn't fond of didn't quite work out for me.
Yeah, and I would really, I look forward to the 2 new games coming out because they look much more in the old form of Lara, especially since the one is the remake of 1. So there's going to be dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
It's going to be great. But all right, man. So we were doing the short game, the retro game, and then Claire Obscure. So we've gotten the short game done with Devil May Cry. That means that in 2 weeks, we will be back chatting about Tex Murphy, Under a Killing Moon. And I am
a game that you've been very excited to encounter on this show for a long time. A genre that we've wanted to crack into more.
Brother, it's our first. Well, I guess Myst was technically our first, but this is our first FMV point and click.
Well, Shivers 2 would have been.
Yeah, Shivers would have been. but that episode is lost to the ages. So, yeah, I am very excited. This should be fun. All of the jank. It could be that we hate this game and we're just going to tear it apart. But I just have this feeling that this game's going to be very charming because they made a bunch of Tex Murphy games, and I believe they're detective style games. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a good time. I thought this was the first Tex Murphy game, but I don't think it actually is. In fact, I'm going to look that up really quick. Yeah. So this is actually the 3rd game, which we can talk about more next episode. But I didn't realize that Martian Memorandum came out before this. It was funny when I was doing the retro list, which I'll talk about the poll here in just a second, but when I was doing the retro list and putting together all of my GOG games, there are a lot of old games that have the word Martian in the title. Like, that was a thing in the 90s to have Martian.
Martian Gothic. Man, that's the only one I could name for some reason.
Oh, I don't have my GOG open. Hold on. There was
there's the Mars adjacent one. Was it Leather Sex Goddesses of Phobos? Or?
Yep.
Leather Goddesses of Phobos.
Oh, just Leather Goddesses of Phobos.
Believe so, yes.
Yeah. My GOG games.
That's an Infocom. Also had one of the more clever moments in a game I'd ever seen, where the first scene, or early on in the game, it asks you you're in a bar, I think, and it asks you to pick which bathroom you go in, and that's how it determines what sex your character is addressed by for the rest of the game.
That is a pretty neat move.
Okay, so
like you're just trying to be a perv, and it's like, oh no, you're a chick.
Fair enough.
Maybe there were just 2 in my GOG library, and I just for some reason thought that was a lot. But Tex Murphy 2, Martian Memorandum, and then Ultima, Worlds of Adventure 2, Martian Dreams. Anyways, that is a little side tangent because Dane's here. So because we're doing Tex Murphy, that means that we got a new short poll up on the Discord. And if you want to check out the Discord, bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. You'll hear that again once more just here in a few seconds. But the retro poll on there right now, go join the Discord and throw it a vote. Your choices are Jagged Alliance 1, Empire Earth, Fantasy Wars, Silver, Summoner, or A Vampire Story. Now, Vampire Story, point and click game, pretty sure might be like an adventure style game. Summoner, action adventure game. Silver, believe plays like Diablo. And then, if I'm remembering correctly, Fantasy Wars, Empire Earth, and Jagged Alliance are all what's the
like
word?
D&D type?
No,
CRPGs?
Like tactical
RTSs?
Yeah, thank you.
RTS?
RTS. They're like RTS style.
Tetris clones.
Yes.
Yeah, they're Tetris clones.
Yes.
They're clones of Tetris, Hatris, and Wetris.
But so far, looking at that poll, it looks like Empire Earth is winning at the moment. So we'll see. Dane,
I don't know if I voted in that one yet.
you have
We'll see if I can ruin it for everyone.
no, you have not voted yet. So far, it's been me, Kana, Adam, and Jeff. Dane, before I go through the show notes and stuff, plug what you need to plug, man.
So if you really like my wiener jokes and my tangential stories and my hammer time, you can get more of me at Dane and Jeff's Media Dump, available where all fine podcasts are sold, where me and my grumpy duck co-host and some asshole named Dalton usually talk about some random movie that we watched the past week. And right now we are in the middle of WrestleFest in honor of the great Kurt Russell, because we totally planned it out. This month it is his birthday. I don't remember what day though. I just know it's this month. So come check us out. We just did Bone Tomahawk, courtesy of Dalton, and our next one up is was it Overboard?
Yeah, and I just remembered that I need to source that, so that's all I'm looking right now. That's the, make sure it came out in 1987, I'm assuming. Yeah,
I think so. Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
And I'll wrestle this month, so come check us out.
WrestleMania.
Oh my God.
Oh, we haven't made that joke yet.
Oh my God. Why don't we call it that?
Fucking fools.
All right. I take it back. We're doing WrestleMania this month.
Oh, Willie. Yeah, that's fucking fantastic.
I am changing the name.
I genuinely can't believe we didn't get here.
I can't believe we didn't either.
I'm glad I was here for you, boys.
Thank you. God damn. WrestleMania. Especially with as much as I talk about wrestling with Dane on a daily basis, how the fuck did we not come up with that?
I heard the term WrestleFest used once, and that's where I got the idea to do it at all with Nick Cage, and it has been so lodged in as the default, I was blind to the obvious.
Well, shout out to Willie for the good name. Yeah, WrestleMania. That's fantastic.
Thank you. You made us a little bit more professional with that.
I do what I must because I can.
You know, Finn is always putting us on blast because our pun game is so weak over on Media Dump.
And now we got a pun.
Yeah, I like it. We're using it.
Oh, feel free, dude. You have my full blessing.
Go check out Dane and Jeff's Media Dump for sure. It was a good time over there. Willie, you got anything you want to plug before I run through the show notes?
Shoutouts to Mick for sending me that 8-bit do controller, man. It's good. And thanks for taking a week off and not straining yourself because you knew the timing would be bad for you on the podcast. Like, we had a cool co-host. You did not need to overdo it. And come back when you're ready, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, then that just leaves...
This show is not an obligation for anyone. This is a fun time.
It's not an obligation for anybody but me.
But even if we would probably find a way to do it.
Oh, yeah, no. If I couldn't make it, I'm saying that, like, I feel the need to get the show out.
Yeah.
I would totally show up and impersonate you.
If you had to delegate 1 week, then we could probably figure out something to do.
Yeah. Well, if that day ever comes, we'll chat about it. I would rather get something out instead of missing and a release. So, yeah, that would be more my thing. Anyway, if you would, please leave us a review wherever you get your podcast. 5-star review really would mean a lot. It helps us in the algorithm, helps people find the show, and it brings new people in to maybe come and join in the Discord and stuff like that. I can't believe that we've got like 100 members in there. That baffles me. But yeah, 5-star review, iTunes and Spotify. If you leave a 5-star review on iTunes with a little description or the comment or whatever the review, I suppose it would be, I'll read it. We just don't get them that often. I think the last one we got was in 2023. So people don't really use iTunes all that much apparently, or at least not for listening to us. But we do appreciate the reviews. Check us out over on Discord because I'm awful at social media. I've pretty much given up on it, to be completely honest. So check us out. Join the Discord. That's where all the cool stuff happens. bit.ly/TSMP Discord. All capital letters will get you an invite in, and you can come in and join in on the shenanigans. Vote on the polls, which let's do a quick run update. We talked about the retro poll, so we don't have to talk about that one. But the current long poll got some bangers on there. We got Jade Empire, X4 Foundations, Far Cry 5, The Forest, and Star Sand Island, which is a new Stardew Valley-esque game, but with like Genshin-like graphics. I don't know how to describe it. Overwhelmingly right now, Star Sand Island winning. I feel like everyone's just throwing us a cozy game, and I appreciate that.
I didn't realize we had that many fans that were on the show. Barbara Starsand?
Hey, that's a curse word, sir. You watch your mouth.
Now you're going to guarantee it wins. It's the Star Sand effect all over again.
I was thinking of Star Sand Effect as my joke, but I thought that one might be too subtle, so thank you.
This is fucked up, but it makes me think of it. The Family Guy movie from back in the day when Peter goes on the rant to the dude at the video store when he says, where in the Bible does it say a man can't bust off some knuckle children in the privacy of his own neighbor's living room while his neighbor's at work because I don't have a DVD player? Well, I don't know where that says that in the Bible, sir, because the Bible is way too long to read. And but what causes him to say that, because that's burned into my brain, but what causes him to say that is he's like, well, we're a Christian establishment now. We're no longer your normal video store. We're this mockmuster or whatever it was, and we don't have stuff like that. And he goes, we only carry Christian movies. And he goes, you carry Barbra Streisand movies? And the guy goes, we edit some of our movies. And it shows a clip of Barbra Streisand and her nose is blurred out. And it's like one of the dumbest but funniest jokes. Like, it's one of those times where it's like Family Guy has a lot of misses, but when they hit, and that one's just really stupidly funny. But yeah, so anyway, Star Sand Island overwhelmingly winning that poll. And then the short poll that just went up the other day, we got Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, The Darkness 2, Jotun Valhalla Edition, On Guard, and the King of Fighters 13 Global Match. And Crash Bandicoot 2 is winning that, much to the joy of me and my childhood. Plus, I think we all had a pretty good time with Crash 1. So, Crash 2 improves it a little bit, and then Crash 3 improves on that a little more. So it'll be a good time if that's what ends up winning. But anyways, check out the website, bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast. Check out the Patreon if you would like to donate to the show and help me keep the lights on. It means the world to me. Patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. You get your episodes early, and you get the banter in the beginning that's just for the patron section. And it's got its own RSS feed that you can add to your podcast app. It's great. And if you donate $10 or more a month, you get all of that, plus your name read on each and every episode, like these wonderful people right here. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of Juniper, Jeff, the original expendable Mr. Syllables, Old Jeffy Lube, also he is a duck, the man who erased his nickname, now the Wolverine, formerly known as Logan Jareed, a.k.a. Little Lemaniac, Eraser Adam, shout out to his podcast, Spectre Approved, Team Retro, check him out over on YouTube, Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, Flying Brian, Dorian Gray, and Fenris the Healer from the Isles of Bama. You're all very, very much appreciated. Shout out to, I have shout out to the JRPG Report and shout out to the Grumpy Jeff's Pro Wrestling Power Hour in my notes, and both of those shows are on hiatus. So, shout out to Dane and Jeff's Media, Tom.
Yeah, he's over there too.
Yeah, and, you can catch me over there too. I have my fingers in a lot of pies. Merch link, tsmpproductions.threadless.com. Got some of the new Steamy logo merch up. Really cool. I got a picture of an adorable little baby in a onesie with it on there today, and it made my day. And you can make someone's day too with a shirt with Steamy on it. So check it out. tsmpproductions.threadless.com. Nowthenightmare.bandcamp.com. If you like the show music, check out the music there. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about, and I can't fucking wait, the FMV goodness of Tex Murphy Under a Killing Moon. And until then, everybody, take it easy.